What is up, YouTube? It's VyPr Sports here, and today I'm going to be talking about the potential of Le'Veon Bell getting traded. The Steelers running back is holding out, and after an amazing Week 1 performance by running back James Conner, and the fact that Le'Veon Bell is not on the Steelers' depth chart this week, I think there's growing potential that he gets traded, despite the fact that the Steelers have said that they are actively not trying to trade him. So, given an approximate value of, I personally believe, either 2 first-round picks, a first or a second, or a first and a player, or any combination of those, there are only a few teams that I think could realistically pull off a trade for Le'Veon Bell. Those 3 are the Niners, the Jets, and the Packers. So I'm going to go over these 3 teams, why they would trade for Le'Veon Bell, why it would work, why it wouldn't work, and if it could realistically happen. So the first team is the San Francisco 49ers. And they would make this trade to create an amazing offense. Jimmy Garoppolo is a pretty good quarterback, or at least that's what he seems like as of right now. We may see him turn into a different player later on in the season, but add Le'Veon Bell to his backfield, and that would be really good and would help him a lot more than Alfred Morris probably would. The Niners are looking to be a potential playoff team this year, so I think adding Le'Veon Bell to this team would push them into that playoff caliber spot. The only problem with this, though, is that I don't know if the Steelers would be willing to trade Le'Veon Bell for iffy picks. I don't know if the Niners picks this year are going to be middle first round, late first round, early first round maybe. If they're looking like they could be an early first round pick, then I think the Niners would definitely make the trade, and I think the Steelers would definitely make the trade. But if it's a later first round pick, I don't know how confident the Steelers would be in making that trade, but it definitely has potential due to the fact that the Niners are an out-of-conference team, and most pro teams are usually more comfortable trading great players out of their conference so they don't have to deal with them as often in games. The second team that I think could trade for Le'Veon Bell is the New York Jets. The Steelers would make this trade because the Jets will probably have some pretty high picks over the next couple years. I'm not expecting them to be a playoff team or anything. They're still in a rebuild, but Le'Veon Bell would definitely help them get out of it. Sam Darnold looked really good in Week 1, to be honest, and adding a really solid run game with Le'Veon Bell could definitely help his development. And on top of that, it could also draw a lot more big-name free agents, or at least bigger-name free agents, to the New York Jets organization. The Jets would be able to pay Le'Veon Bell, but the only real problem with this is the same thing that happened with the Khalil Mack trade that the Jets were seemingly trying to be involved in, is that I don't know if the Steelers would be willing to trade Le'Veon Bell within the conference. That was the thing that kept Khalil Mack out of being a New York Jet for this season, and I think a similar thing could happen here with Le'Veon Bell. Now the third, final, and honestly team that I think if Le'Veon Bell were to get traded, he would go to is the Green Bay Packers. Now, Pittsburgh would make this trade because Green Bay has a lot of picks this year. They have 2 picks in the first round this year, their pick and the pick from New Orleans that they got in the Marcus Davenport trade. And they would also have picks from future years, so there's a lot to choose from with trading with the Green Bay Packers. It would also really, really help the Packers, and if I were Green Bay, I would definitely be making this trade, if possible. It would give them an amazing run game in addition to having Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, which is already great enough, but give a dual threat situation with not only Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams through the passing game, but Le'Veon Bell through the run game. It would be unstoppable. They could be Super Bowl contenders. And in addition to this, they do have the cap to extend Le'Veon Bell, which I think is a big part of a team wanting to trade for him, is since he's holding out with Pittsburgh, even though they have a lot of potential, a team that would trade for Le'Veon Bell would have to be willing to extend him, much like with Khalil Mack and his trade. So if Le'Veon Bell is going to get traded, I personally think that he's going to go to Green Bay. So those are my thoughts on a potential Le'Veon Bell trade during this year's NFL season. And I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Le'Veon Bell will get traded? And if so, where will he go? Please like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new. This has been VyPr Sports, and I will see you guys in the next video.